Justice must be capable of learning from its mistakes. When the law evolves, it must reach back for those left behind. That is the principle behind new clauses 22 and 23, which I have tabled. These clauses would create a fair route for people still serving sentences under laws that have since been abolished, or where the legal basis has materially changed. They would allow courts to review such cases so that punishment reflects the law as it stands today, not as it stood decades ago. At present, there is no clear mechanism for that to happen. Even when Parliament or the courts have recognised that the law was wrong, those affected have no real way to benefit. Our system can acknowledge injustice, but it cannot yet fix it. We see this most clearly in the case of Alex Henry, whose sister, as my constituent, has campaigned tirelessly on this issue. She and Alex's mum are in the gallery today. 11 years ago, Alex was convicted of murder after a 40-second altercation. He did not wield the weapon. He threw a phone, one punch, and then ran. He was convicted under the now discredited doctrine of joint enterprise, which allows juries to convict if a defendant merely foresaw that someone else might do. 2 years later, the Supreme Court ruled that this interpretation had been wrong for over 30 years. Foresight is not enough for guilt. Intent must be present. Yet, Alex remains in prison, serving a life sentence with a minimum term of 19 years, for a crime that under today's law he would not have been convicted of.
Would my honourable friend give way?
I will give way.
I thank the honourable member for giving way. Alex's mother, Sally, is my constituent in Esher and Walton, and she shared Alex's story in one of my surgeries. So I'm very pleased that his story is being considered today in Parliament. The amendments that my honourable friend is putting forward will help ensure that people like Alex have a route to justice. Sally is battling on behalf of her son against a law which is obsolete. I think all of us can only imagine how heartbreaking and frustrating that is, and the unfairness of what my honourable friend has described. So I urge members across the House to support this amendment, so there is a course to justice.
I thank the honourable member for her intervention, and it is indeed a highly significant issue, which is why I have put forward this amendment. Since his conviction, Alex has also been diagnosed with autism, a condition that fundamentally affects how he perceives and reacts to social situations. That diagnosis raises serious questions about whether it was even fair to suggest that he could have foreseen a friend's violent act, let alone intended it. Alex's story is not unique. Many others, overwhelmingly young men, disproportionately from minority ethnic backgrounds, remain imprisoned under a doctrine our highest court has disowned. I want to recognise today Joint Enterprise Not Guilty by Association, JENGABA, whose members have worked tirelessly for more than a decade to support families and campaign for reform. Many of them and the families of those affected are also here today in the galleries, and I want to place on record my gratitude for their courage and persistence in seeking justice. I would also like to thank the Honourable Member for Liverpool Riverside for her support this afternoon. New Clause 22 would allow people still serving sentences under laws that have materially changed to apply for review. It gives courts discretion to resentence in line with the law as it now stands, or make any other order necessary in the interest of justice. This is not just about reopening every case or granting automatic releases. It is about restoring fairness. New Clause 23 complements that by requiring the Secretary of State for Justice to review and report to Parliament on how changes in criminal law affect existing convictions and sentences. It ensures that when the law evolves, we look back and ask what those changes mean for the people already affected. This is not just a moral necessity, it is a practical one. We face a severe crisis in our prisons, overcrowded, understaffed and at breaking point. It makes no sense to fill cells with people serving sentences under laws that no longer reflect justice, while those who genuinely threaten public safety wait for space. We need prison places for those who are truly dangerous, not for those who are simply in the wrong place at the wrong time under the wrong law. Madam Chair, the Secretary of State for Justice has long recognised the injustice of joint enterprise. In 2021, he called it a shoddy law, outdated and backward, and pledged to change it. Families across the country and many in these galleries remember that promise. Today, this bill gives him and the government the chance to make good. These clauses provide a practical, proportionate and fair way to ensure our justice system can correct itself when the law gets it wrong. So my ask today is, will the Secretary of State and the government champion from the government benches these clauses, work with me and campaigners to refine the detail if needed, but do not let the principle fall away? Because the strength of our justice system lies not in its perfection, but in its capacity to put right its own mistakes. For Alex Henry, for the families in the gallery today, and for everyone still serving a sentence under a law our courts have already rejected, I urge all members on all sides and the government to support the new clauses 22 and 23. Thank you, Madam Chair.